somehow these leftists think that the Hispanic voters and the black voters, they've been oppressed for so long. So they say, we're going to give you guys, instead of one vote, you get to go in and vote for 6. You get to vote 6 votes. Now, in this instance, there were 6 people up for seats. It was a city council meeting. You could cast 1 vote for all 6 candidates, or you could cast 6 votes for 1 candidate. This was designed to let minorities get on the city council. You can have a lot fewer people voting for you if they can each vote for you 6 times. That way we can get a Hispanic on the city council, even if there weren't enough people to get representative voting. Folks, the way this is supposed to work, it's representative voting. If you can't get the votes, whether you're black, brown, yellow, midget, fat, gay, I don't care. If you don't get the votes, you don't get the office. But these liberals have now got this cumulative voting. You can vote 6 times for 1 person. It's also been used to elect a school board in Amarillo, Texas, the county commission in Clinton County, Alabama, and the city council in Peoria, Illinois. Having rationalized their moral high ground over voter suppression, the Democrats go on the warpath. In recent years, this has involved lawsuits, organized slander campaigns. Under the Obama presidency, it's also using federal agencies to attack private citizens and organizations like Catherine Engelbrecht in Houston with the True the Vote. They came after her with the DEA and the EPA and the CIA and 5 or 6 federal departments. Now, in 2005, Kansas, Iowa, Nebraska, and Missouri, the secretaries of states agreed to initiate a program called Crosscheck. These states would share their voter rolls. They'd share the first and last name, the birth date, and the last 4 digits of a Social Security number for the voters. And it turned out that 765 voters with matching first name, last name, date of birth, and last 4 digits of Social Security numbers were registered in North Carolina and another state, and they voted in both. 35,750 voters with the same first name, last name, and date of birth registered in North Carolina and another state and voted in both. 155,692 voters with the same first name, last name, date of birth, and last 4 Social Security are registered in North Carolina and another state. And the latest date of registration or voter activity was not in North Carolina. Other groups have explored voter rolls and found numerous problems. The Virginia Voter Alliance worked with Election Integrity in Maryland and found 44,000 registration matches. They also found 31,000 dead voters in the Virginia rolls. North Carolina Voter Integrity Project handed over 20,000 voters with invalid addresses to the Board of Elections and identified 5,167 dual registrations in Florida. Out-of-state voters, another problem. Children go to universities. They travel to another state. How is it they get out-of-state tuition, but they register to vote in the state, saying that they're residents in the state? This has been made legal, mostly in blue states, where the Department of Elections is likely to be a Democrat. They want the students. They're stupid. They're likely to be liberals. They're easily manipulated. And why not take an extra 20,000 votes and get them to vote in your state? The judge actually ruled that it was illegal to do this. But how can it be legal to give them out-of-state tuition and in-state voting rights? And why are these students getting the right to vote in a state where they're going to be gone in 2 years or 4 years and will likely not see the impact? They could vote for higher taxes and never have to pay a dime in taxes. let's go over some of the voter fraud that was seen in recent years. In 2012, Colorado counties have more voters than people. I don't see anything wrong with that, right? Gilpin County has a total population of 5,441, with 17% of the population below voting age. The highest possible number of registered voters is 4,494. Currently, Gilpin County has 4,909 registered voters. Hinsdale County, total population 830. 20% of that is below voting age. The highest possible registered voters would be 664. At 110% voter registration, that means there are 515 excess voter registrations in the county, and 68 excess registrations in Hinsdale. It's insane. 110% voter turnout. And you're going to hear that a lot more in the upcoming reports here. Now, voter ID. Conservatives want it to stop voter fraud. You can't just show an ID that you made up. It has to be a state-issued ID. Makes it real hard to have multiple state-issued IDs. Liberals don't want voter ID. The Democrats need the voter fraud to stay in office. Did you know that Obama lost in every single state that had voter ID laws? Every single one. Now you tell me the election wasn't stolen. Closely contested state elections with no voter ID, which narrowly went to Obama, include Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, Pennsylvania. That's a total of 66 electoral votes. When added to Romney's 205 electoral votes, that would have given Romney 271 electoral votes, enough to win even without Ohio or Florida. Obama lost every single state that had voter ID laws. Currently, there are 35 states that have voter ID laws. So hopefully, we'll see a little bit more sanity this round. 2014 election fraud. The campaign worker, this happened just a couple of weeks ago. John Street for The Blaze reports that during Arizona's primary election, an Arizona County Party official said he saw a man stuffing hundreds of ballots into a ballot box. He walks up and says, "What's your problem?" "I don't have a problem." He says, "Stop watching me. You're annoying me." The guy says, "One of your ballots isn't sealed." "It's none of your business. What's your name?" The guy tells him to go F yourself. He walks up while people are on a lunch break and starts stuffing hundreds. It took him 7 minutes. There's a video. If you go to Patriot-Radio-Show, not Patriot-Radio-Show, oh, mercy me. Go to America in Ruin and look for 2014 election fraud. You'll see the video. It took the guy 7 minutes to stuff all these ballots in the box. Crime. It's happening again. La Raza, the Mexican pro-immigration, pro-open border. They say that California belongs to them. They want immigrants, legal or illegal, to get citizenship just for crossing the line. They're currently going around publicizing a list of where you can vote without an ID. Voter ID laws are at issue across the country. with newly Republican-controlled legislatures having passed them in numerous states, explains Washington Post Aaron Blake. Most states still require some form of ID, but not all. Another 20 states don't require it at all. So they're trying to get people on buses to go to these 20 states so that they can vote, legal or not. Just get your vote cast. And the places that they don't have the voter ID are more likely to be the blue states anyway. Boston, 129% voter turnout. Way to go, Boston. Precinct 1, 132. This is Ward 18 in Boston, 2010. Ward 18, Precinct 1, 132%, 97% for Obama. Precinct 2, 139%, 98.9% for Obama. Precinct 3, 140% turnout. How can this not be voter fraud? How can it not be voter fraud when there are more people turning out to vote than there are registered voters? And when typical voter turnout in most places is 35%, and all of a sudden we have these blue places turning 140% out for Obama? Philly polling stations. The GOP inspectors were kicked out of the polling place. The GOP, the Republican monitors, were kicked out of the voting places. They had a 90% voter turnout. 99% of those voted for Obama. Across Philadelphia, GOP pollsters were illegally removed. And Obama received astronomical numbers in those very same regions. Ward 4, which also had a poll watcher dressed in Obama attire. It went massively for Obama. Obama received 99.5% of the vote. That's 9,955 to Romney's 55. Now, isn't it odd that they eject the poll watchers from the GOP and he gets 99.9% of the vote? Another problem, voter turnout in Philadelphia was around 60%, according to state election figures. In these precincts where the GOP was kicked out, they got over 90%. He also got 99.8% of the vote in 44 Cleveland districts. 44 districts in Cleveland. Obama gets 99.8% of the votes. In Ohio, he won in a county with 108% voter registration. These numbers cannot happen. If you have 10,000 voters and they all support Obama and they all go into the booth, you will have several hundred of them punching the wrong button by mistake. It happens. Statistically, it happens. But with voter fraud, it doesn't. On the banner of my website, America in Ruin, it states, those who vote. No, let me pull it up and read it for you. I'm trying to say it from memory and it's not working. Oh, mercy, mercy me. I'm pulling it up now, folks. America in Ruin. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Come on, Internet. Work for me. It's a quote from, here we go. Those who vote decide nothing. Those who count the vote decide everything. Those who count the vote decide everything. It's a quote by Joseph Stalin, but it could well be Obama's mantra as well. Those who vote decide nothing. It's those who count the vote that decide everything.